no matter what. I'm feeling great.
Om Shanti, and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge with Sister Janki ji. In our previous episode, Sister talked about vegetarian diet, and in length, she explained to us the effect that a non-vegetarian diet can have on our body and the good things that a vegetarian diet can bring us. Today, we're going to go into a little more detail about her mission in Bali and how the different religion that's practiced there, how did they adjust to the teachings of Brahmakumaris. So let's all welcome Didi Janki ji. Om Shanti and welcome.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
You know, you talked about the different aspects of a vegetarian diet. Today, I would like to go a little bit into a different realm. Indonesia is predominantly, I believe, practices Muslim religion. And the teachings of Brahmakumaris, as I understand, are universal in the sense they don't have any cultural, it crosses cultural barriers. It's not a religion as I understand, it's more about the principles. So how did you get into bringing the principles of Brahmakumaris to people who were initially practicing another religion?
That's an interesting question. You see, people, they are religious. They love God. And they do their prayers and whatever rituals they have to do in a very loving way. But inside, they still feel that they have not really achieved something that they need, something greater, something bigger, something real that can take away their sorrow, that can take away all their questions, that can take away the pain, that can take away the stress of life. They are still thinking, why is this still happening to me? That I'm a very good person, I do all my religious rites. These questions are in everyone's mind. So when we can say that the main thing is, why is there sorrow? Why is there pain? Does God give sorrow? Definitely no. Does God give pain? No. Does God give difficulty and tests? No. Then why? Then once we learn that all what has happened to me is the end result of what I have been doing all along in my life. I have made some mistakes, I have been careless, I didn't know, and I did certain things, and these things come back to me to teach me that I have gone wrong and I have to repay. I have to pay back whatever I have done, and it comes in the form of a pain, a disease, a burden, or anything like that. So once I know that whatever comes to me is my own doing, I can undo those things and I can learn how to move forward in a new way, in a better way, in a positive way. I can learn.
That's true, but are people willing to accept that? Are they willing to take the responsibility for their actions? I mean, if you tell them that whatever is happening to you right now is a result of the actions that you've done in the past, are they accepting it readily, or is there some kind of friction with that?
Those who believe in a number of births for the soul takes many bodies, and something that has happened in the past is now, like affecting the soul. So that becomes a little easy. But when we talk of one lifespan, then it becomes difficult. But even then, we know that we are not all perfect. So can we learn to be perfect even in one lifetime? And can we learn to take help from God? Because He's there to help. And then people ask me, I pray, I do all that I have to do, and yet I don't get God's help. That I have to earn my own living. I have to do my own work. Where is God's help? People do ask that. And then I tell them, to get God's help, you need to touch yourself. Touch the soul. Go inside. Talk to God from the bottom of your heart. Talk from heart to heart. Talk in silence. Talk when you have nothing to do. But don't cry out. Don't complain. Don't report. But just say, I am weak. I am helpless. But I have hope. Why? You are with me. I love you, and you will help me if I'm positive. So with you by my side, can I not do it? Can I not overcome it? Can I be successful? Of course. So please stay with me. Be with me. I'll talk to you. You be my friend. I'm your friend. You're my guide. You're my teacher. You're my everything. So we work together. We walk together. We work together. We be together. So this sort of thing people love because they love God. They love their religion. And we are not asking them to stop anything. We're just asking them to get closer and to be better. And so meditation is the way. Meditation is when in silence. When you're in touch with yourself, you forget what's happening on the outside for a while, because those outside things have to be done. But give yourself time and space to be with yourself, to align yourself with God, bring Him into your life and work with that. So that becomes easy. And this is very acceptable to everyone. It depends on how you look at it. And they ask me, if I learn this, do I have to change my religion? No, not at all. You can be a better person. You can be more loving in your religion. You can experience much love. You can go to long distances with this meditation. So it's good.
Right.
It's beneficial all along.
To me, it sounds like, from what you're telling me, Brahma Kumari sounds like practical spirituality. Maybe if I were to ask you in 3 words,
Yes.
where Brahma Kumaris is successful, but the religions were not able to do that.
I would like to put it this way. There was faith, but only in theory. But when that theory is put into practice, it becomes real. So theory in the form of knowledge is just knowledge. But knowledge transferred to practical living, manifested in practical living, that gives an impression, that gives hope, that gives a newness, that gives help. So that is needed. So people need time for themselves, at least 1 hour a day, or at the very least half an hour a day for themselves, to set themselves right and to align themselves with the Supreme. They need this time, because without that, they are just doing. They become doing beings and not being what they're doing. So that's very important.
And another important aspect of this that you mentioned was you don't have to leave your religion.
Yes.
You're practicing your religion, but just as a better person.
True.
And this, I'm sure, must have resonated with the people, because if someone walks to me and tells me that, okay, this is what we're practicing, and this is really good for me, I would not be that willing to go and follow it right away. So this is a very important aspect of Brahma Kumari teachings. Could you please tell us a little bit more about the Brahma Kumari teachings, which has appealed to the people at your center?
One very important thing is self-transformation for world transformation.
Okay.
So everything begins with the self. What we normally tend to do and believe is, I have to change the world, I have to change the government, I have to change the teachers, I have to change the doctors. So our whole focus is on the outside and nothing ever happens. It's just a waste of thoughts, a waste of energy, wasting on time and hoping that something is going to happen. Any amount of coaxing, any amount of advice will not help. What people want to see are examples. So if somebody is always cool, calm, loving, unselfish, and somebody is really walking the talk, if that happens, then there is hope. And they begin to accept that. But just talking in theory does not go far. It's just like, wishy-washy and not really helping.
Right. I just had a thought in my mind in terms of the language. The spoken language of Malaysia is probably different from the spoken language in Bali, Indonesia.
Yes.
How were you able to cope with that transition?
Yes. I speak the Malay language.
Okay.
And of course, I am good in that language. But when I was asked to go to Indonesia and in Bali, of course, there's no Indonesian language and Malaysian language. They are both sister languages.
Okay.
Lots of commonalities in them.
Okay.
But still, there are differences. And when I first went to Bali, huge crowds used to gather just to hear my language and have a good, hearty laugh. So I became the laughing stock of everyone. And I was wondering, I'm talking with so much of enthusiasm and I'm giving them such knowledge and they're going, ha, ha, like that, And then I eventually, came to understand that my style of talking, the words that I use are not the words that they use. And they were having a good laugh, for free. So I listened to the news in Indonesian language. I used to watch news on TV, listen to news on radio, listen to people talking, what words they use. Because some words are totally different. And for example, this word report. When I go somewhere and then they say, do you want coffee? I said, no, don't trouble yourself. They'll tell me, no, it's no report. Means it's not disturbing me.
Oh.
But report in Malay language is doing a report.
Exactly.
So I was thinking, what is the connection? So like that, there are many different words that they use, which I'm not familiar with. When I begin to understand what words they use, then communication becomes better, it becomes closer and nearer.
Correct.
And slowly they also listen to what you have to say and no more laugh, you see. So it's good. I'm exposed to all sorts of things. And this is one of those things that I had to learn. Being an adult, being a teacher, and teaching Raja Yoga and all coming to have a good laugh. That was about for 6 months. It happened like that.
Okay.
Yes.
That long, over 6 months.
Yes.
I guess you have made that effort. I mean, I'm sure they must have appreciated you for that. That having come from Malaysia, you are making the effort to be part of them.
Yes.
And that also probably warms them up to you, thinking.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are quite thrilled because they say they've never seen a lady, a woman, guru like that, in a sense, guru. So they say, this lady guru. And then they see, she is also just as capable as a man. Because at first they say, a lady, what can she do? She's weak. They're frightened. Oh, we can bully them. These things come in people's minds.
Right.
But then they see that all those thoughts just never happen. And a lady can be a Shakti, a powerful person, a teacher. And anyway, when you look at the role of women, they are the first mother, the first nurse, the first teacher, the first friend, the first companion, the mother. So a lady has also many qualities. I'm not saying that men don't have, but they have different qualities like leadership, like planning. They have. So this is something natural. And many people say that, you know what a lady does is cooking is not important. It's the cooking that has sustained the world.
right.
It's the cooking, the mother's cooking that has made men and women so great.
Right.
It's the cooking that has made them still alive.
Right.
So it's such a great job. So if we can appreciate each job in its own, speciality and its own greatness, every job is great. The one who rolls the chapati is great. The one who cooks is great. The one who washes is great. Because without them, how will the world be? No food, no cleanliness. So these are all great jobs. And men, they look for jobs, they work, they bring back money, they bring back salaries. That's also great. So everyone is great. There's no such thing as a very ulterior job or inferior job. No.
You just mentioned about how people look at women in the society.
Yeah.
Did you face any difficulties? Because when you came, you said you were on your own. You did not have anybody in particular you were living with. So that must have been a very daunting situation to begin with. So were there any kind of second thoughts in your mind as to, I'm all by myself in this new country. Did I do the right thing in coming here? Was there any kind of self-doubt at that point?
There were many instances I came across like big barriers. And I spoke to my seniors, said, this is happening. What do I do? And in my mind, I thought my seniors would say, don't worry, we will give you power from far away. But they told me the opposite. You are there doing God's work. You are God's child. And you say you are afraid. You say you have no power. You say you cannot do. And you call yourself God's child. What are you doing there? This was a great eye-opener for me, that I am doing something that is good. And I say, I have no power. I'm afraid. I can't do it myself. So am I really looking up at that great power and taking that power and using that power to show His greatness? Or am I looking at my little self with all my weaknesses and my fear and portraying that? Now, which one am I exposing? That one who's great and all successful, all encompassing, or this one that is a woman, that is new, that has no friends? Which one? And I realized I have to have a different purpose in life, a different vision, a new way of looking, a new way of thinking, a new hope, a new strength, a new power. And that's what kept me going until today. So I'm never alone.
Your journey is very commendable. To have the kind of strength that you're exhibiting, it definitely needs a lot of courage.
And the seniors are very, very wise. Because if they say, you poor thing, have some, have patience, I will never pick up that courage.
You will never grow.
Yes. Yeah. And they said, you representing God and you talking about God and you are afraid, what can I say?
Right.
So this was a great eye-opener for me. Sure. And I told myself, yeah, this is true. Am I glorifying God? So there's nothing that is impossible when you have that faith in God.
Right.
However much you can use, whatever you have, use them and things will slowly grow, because people have hearts. Mm-hmm. People, their true nature is love. And I find that they're willing to open up, to have peace, to love, to share, and to be happy. And this is the true nature of every human being. It is in them, and I strongly believe in it. Even if somebody is like showing a very negative appearance, but in the heart of hearts, that person has a lot of love, has a lot of peace, but he doesn't know how to bring it out. So in Brahma Kumaris with meditation, we bring out all these beautiful qualities.
Right.
So there's inner beauty.
Didi, I'd like to thank you for this beautiful conversation that we had today. But we're not done yet because we do have a lot more questions for you, and we would definitely like you to come back and continue this conversation. But thank you for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So friends, Didi talked about how Brahma Kumaris crosses cultural barriers. It's not a religion, it's a feeling. It's about being good to other people. It's about being good to yourself. And she also talked about how she has overcome a lot of problems and difficulties that came along just on faith and courage. So I hope you enjoyed watching us today, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Until then, take care.